Good afternoon. I'm waiting for people to come into my room. It's Sunday. Today we're doing oracle questions and I'm doing 3 card reads for generals. Donations if you want to ask a question. It's unusual that I don't have anybody in the room waiting yet. But I'm here and I'm going to go ahead and do a reading for the collective while we wait for the room to fill up and people to come in. I know it's Sunday and weather is beautiful across the nation right now. Here in California, we're expecting, Central California, we're expecting a high of 95. We're about 90 degrees right now. It's just outside. It's warming up, but at least we're not in the hundreds. We just went through a really hot spell here. Ending finally last week. It lasted for about 3 weeks. We were running the hundreds to 108. And here in Central California, we do have a dry climate. We don't have a lot of humidity. Our humidity level runs about 25%, which is very, very livable compared to the East Coast, where they're in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80% humidity, which makes you feel the heat, but it's not as hot there. It just feels hot. But we are going to finish out the next couple days in the mid to high 90s, and then we're going back into a week of 100 with Thursday being 105, and then it's starting to cool back down. So we're doing that roller coaster now of dipping in the 90s and back in the hundreds, and then back in the 90s, back in the hundreds. That's pretty typical weather for the Central Valley. September, we have heat in September, just as hot as August, sometimes hotter. Luckily this year we haven't hit the 115 to 120 degree weather, thank God. But we do get rounds of highs like that in this area. This is the breadbasket of the world. I live in the Central Valley of California, where they grow everything, and our crops that we grow in California are not only shipped all across the nation, but also overseas. They do a lot of overseas co-ops. Our farmers are hurting tremendously here because of the lack of trade agreements that we have outside of the nation, and a lot of the produce coming out of Mexico and Brazil are taking our market because of our political climate and the lack ability to do reasonable trade negotiations by the Orange King, I guess is a nice way to say it. And with the number of ICE agents in California, fortunately, and the funny part is the Central Valley is pretty red. The farming community is a very red community, so they're getting what they pay for. Hi, Marby. I love the energy. My guys were just chattering away in Brenda's room for you, so I had to post it. But I'm so glad you made it. I love your energy. You are empowering yourself now. You have taken the rope, and people are seeing that glow around you. Get used to it. You're standing in your strength, your power, your energy. Don't allow yourself to falter with that avarice card that keeps coming out every so often. Stand your ground, because you're teaching. You're on the road to a life lesson for that particular person. And it's a male person in your family. I don't know if it's a brother or a son. Whoever that person is, it's time for them to learn to start standing on their own feet. And Brennan and I were talking about that after the show, and it is I said, I had a mother that was an enabler that way, always helping me out. Of course, I was a single parent. I'm at 18, young, but not super young. My daughter's 42 now. I'm 62, or she's 43. I'm 62. And she's doing wonderfully. But it was hard that when you're 18 and have children, it's like children raising children. You don't think so at the time, but looking back, I hadn't grown up and matured. Hey, Trend Zone. But yeah, it's my mom was always bailing me out, so to speak, and she always kept a ledger list of when I borrowed money, and I always paid her back. And I always wrote a check because I was working. I would write her a check, and in the middle of the line, I would say, "Paid back loan on such and such date for this amount," and she'd hold the book, as parents do, of how many times she'd helped me out. And one day she says, "And you need to pay me back sometime." And I said, "I did." And I pulled out my envelope because when I got my bank statements, I pulled the checks out and I set them aside. And I said, "I did." And so I came back over to her house and I got my books of payments when she'd help me out. And I said, "Look, you need to clean up your books. You always write down when I borrow money from you, but you never write down when I pay you back." And I went through all my receipts and she just smiled and she says, "Good job, honey." I never heard about that ledger again or I owing her money. And then I cut myself off from her for about 5 years. I had made this mind that she was helping me out too much. She was too helpful, if a mother can be too helpful. Um, and so anytime I was like, "Oh, I'm short on money. What am I going to do?" I would say to myself, "I'm going to figure this out. Do I need it today or can I put it off? Could I pick up the phone call if I have to pay a bill and I'm going to run late?" So I took that responsibility. And one day I had stopped by my mom's about 5 years later and we got talking. And I said, "Well, we've been fighting, and she goes, "What's the fight?" And I said, "Well, I guess I've been fighting. You helped me too much, if there's such a thing. But I needed to do it on my own." And my mom was so proud. She gave me her favorite pair of earrings, which I have never taken off. And she gave me a hug. She put the earrings on me. When I was a kid, I always wanted to wear these earrings. My grandmother had given them. It's the only thing my grandmother ever gave her. She put them on my ears and she says, "I want you to have those. I'm so proud of you. That was the only nice thing my mother ever gave me. And I want you to have them." And I was just like, I wear them all the time. And of course, my daughters always wanted me to give them to her. And I said, "You'll get them someday." But, it was the way I received them. It was just so heartfelt. So, that person in your life will come back someday and thank you for cutting them off and making them take responsibility. But they have to do the growing part first. And, it's that transition in life of going out of being young to taking personal responsibility. We all learn that lesson in life. And we don't want to be a permanent enabler when people aren't taking the steps they need to take to move forward and grow. So, anyways, just sharing that. Yeah, they are adults. Your daughter's birthday is the 20th. Well, happy birthday. She'll be 32. That's a good year. I loved my 30s. It was the first time your 30s are when you finally become of age and are actually seen by the world as an adult. The 20s, we think we do it all, from high school to our 20s. That's a big growth period. There's a lot of changes in coming out of our teen years and learning responsibility, taking on jobs, etc. But at 30, for me, I think it's mostly for women. Men tend to mature into the business world and in life faster than we do because they have more opportunities. Let's be true about it. But in my 30s in business, it was the first time I was looked at by my peers, coworkers, management as having come of age and being taken at that level of maturity and experience. I had been working for numbers of years. I had earned my way up to that platform where people were coming to me for help and questions and relying on me as an adult now, and the expertise I had already started to gain. From there, I just flew in business. I went into international. I was a paralegal in and I went into international casework, interstate and international casework. Uh, I worked in child support services, and I went into management and all that. I mean, I went up the ladder, and then I stepped off the ladder and back down into the casework because that's where my love was the helping people, the hands-on. Um, and management was so mad at me when I stepped out of management. Um, because I was good in management, but I really liked the casework. I liked the work with the people and things like that. I'm a healer. I'm a that person. So yeah, but 30 is a great age to be. And then oh, I loved it when I mean the idea of turning 50 was hard, but I was heading towards retirement. Well, I retired at 51, so I went out on because I have a lot of health problems. I went out on a medical leave, and then retired. And but I loved my 50s. I mean, it was like a coming of stepping into the to midlife. And of course, I have never regretted retiring. I spent my first year retiring. I made 18 quilts in 1 year. And if you want to see my quilt work, and I design my own quilts, and so I do my own designs. I follow some patterns, but I love the creative designing work of it. I'm a Pisces. I'm very artistic. I cook. I always put an artistic twist in everything I do. It brings me happiness, joy, and but yeah, if you want to see my quilts, you can go on to what is that website? Instagram. I have a bunch of them posted on there. Just feel free to follow me. I haven't been quilting lately. My long arms down and all my fabrics packed down. I just realized I left above my head on my bookshelf on the top. There's a quilt that I haven't finished yet that I made for my youngest grandson. When my daughter I was making it when my daughter was in the hospital. I never finished it. My poor grandsons. I've made my granddaughters have quilts running out their ears. My grandsons, I have not managed to finish one quilt yet. I've got Jamie's my second youngest grandchild. His quilt's done. I just need to finish quilting, doing and getting it on the long arm and finish quilting it. And I have Odie's, my youngest grandson, my doppelganger. I have his partly cut out. I haven't even got it assembled yet. And they match. They're 1920 era the superheroes magazine covers off the comic books, Superman, the all American ones. And then I designed all the trim on. I'll show them off when I get on the other end and I get them finished, and I'll post some of the pictures onto my both onto my Instagram and maybe my community page. I'll put some of it. It's one of my loves. I love this, so I love to create. I love to cook. I love to garden. I like to get out. I love being outside. I grew up as a tomboy, and I always spent summers at my aunt's house. My aunt had nine sons, and they ran 42 acres of U-pick gardening, and they ran cattle, and everything was farm to table. The entire family every summer would go out and all the women. My mom's side, my mom's family. My mom is all girls, and my aunt was all boys, and so all the women in this family go to get up on during the season, and we'd go out and we'd pick everything. And my aunt lived in a turn of the century house. In fact, when they moved in the house, they had to put bathrooms in it because they never had bathrooms out at this big 1800 farmhouse on 42 about 50 acres. And she put those huge U-pick gardens in, and we all 10 of us women would be all in there. She had a summer kitchen off the back of her kitchen. That was a big porch that, and she milked and sold milk and eggs and all that. And then the garden, you pick and she'd weigh everything out and people just come in and garden. And, but we canned out of that. The whole entire family did. And so all us women would get together over a several week period this time of year, harvest and can. She had multiple stoves on the ground. So we had pots and everybody got involved. So I learned to can very young. I still can. And I don't put up like we used to because I don't have a huge garden right now. But, I will, if I have leftover produce or anything, I'll turn, if I have leftover cabbage or something like that, I'll make a couple jars of sauerkraut from scratch. Very easy. Cucumbers, things like that. I'll make pickles. I'll go buy cucumbers and make pickles. I have a fantastic recipe for bread and butter pickles. But yeah, I love doing stuff like that. To me, it's creativity. Same thing. I cook all kinds of cuisines and stuff. I got tons of spice racks and my husband's friends always tell him he's spoiled and he doesn't appreciate me because I'm such a good cook and he doesn't know what he's got because most of their wives can't cook. I think it's sort of funny. We used to entertain a lot. But when we had the ranch, we lived on a ranch, and before we moved into town and off the ranch. But I had a huge garden there, and we always put Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We did barbecues. Well, Sundays I did a Sunday brunch, and I would execute the whole thing. We'd have anywhere from 10 to 20 people, and my husband was part owner in a plumbing business, so Fridays would be the crews, and we do steaks, and we just buy the half size and then cut the steaks down. And my husband would do the barbecue, and I do all the side dishes and everything. And I just love doing that. And because I came from such a big family, and because I always stayed at my aunt's, I learned to cook in volume and execute easily. It's actually the more people you're feeding, the easier it gets. It sounds backwards, but it's not. And so I love doing that kind of stuff. Once I get moved off the West Coast and onto the East Coast, you guys may have seen my daughter in here the other day. I think she came in as CB O'Loughlin. It's not a normal channel, but as soon as I saw the O'Loughlin, I knew it was my daughter. I don't see that name in my chat very often. And I thought it was funny. And a few of you, thank you very much, snapped at her for being a little snarky. I guess my brother-in-law was sitting here watching what she was typing in, and he was telling her, "Quit being so mean to your mom. She's such a nice person." I thought it was hilarious. Because she called me after I got offline. And she goes, "Brian was defending you. I couldn't believe it." I'm like, "Why not? Brian and I get along great. It's you that doesn't think we should get along because we're in-laws." Yeah, she's so wanting me to get out of California and over by her. She can hardly see straight. So, and I'm actually going to be flying out, I believe, on the 15th, and going back to watch my grandkids. They have a concert night, date night planned, and then the next week my son-in-law has his law school reunion with all his peers, and he did really well in law school, so he's got a lot of business contacts and stuff like that, and he's looking really forward to connecting up with some people there. And so they're going to be out of town that week for several days and go to the reunion and connect with some friends and business contacts and stuff like that. So I get the pleasure of getting to go on grandma duty. It's really not babysitting. It's my honor. I love my grandkids. So, and I'm looking so forward to living close to them again. So that's in the works. Brenda and I are still working out logistics on when we're going to start doing our program together. We were thinking Wednesdays. I said Wednesdays were really good because I watched the demographics of other readers, and I follow several readers that do Wednesday programs like Hogarth and Lena and Sheila. I love their program. I just really get a kick, and then they rotate guests through there. But I said Wednesday probably it's too competitive of a night and a time period to go on because I know people are going to go to them versus watch us. We need to hit a window where we're not competing with some of the big readers that are drawing huge audiences, so that we can help build our channels. So we're thinking Thursdays or Fridays rather than a Wednesday. But I just talked to her after her program on the phone. We're touching base, and this Friday I said we could do one this Friday, but she's got things lined up, and I'm thinking Thursday is probably going to be the best night for us because it's before the weekend and a lot of obligations on Friday nights and stuff. And my husband likes to go out dancing. I like going to the music. I don't have the ability to dance a lot like I used to because of my MS, and it makes my muscles weak. So, and I don't want to put strain on my muscles like that. But I enjoy the music. We went out last week or this weekend. But yeah, so we're still working that out. And then of course when I'm back in New Jersey, I'm not sure how long I'm staying. I'm staying at least 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4. My daughter's booking tickets, so I'm coming home when she decides she's ready to send me home, knowing that she's still wanting me to get my house sold. So, so I told her, the shorter visit would probably be better at this time because we're still packing down the house, and I've got to get it cleared enough that the realtor can come in and do the appraisal. And so, we were going to have a garage sale this weekend, but I was just so tired after we went out Friday that we just weren't ready for it. And I told them I was going to have to take the permit back down there, tell them we didn't have the garage sale and set it because they don't allow stuff. We have to have permits to have garage sales in this area. And so, and tell them that we're going to reschedule it probably another couple of weeks out because we're still clearing the house out. And as I was just working from room to room, I'm like, oh, all this stuff needs to go in there. So I told them we're really not ready to have that garage sale. They're only going to allow us to have one. So anyway, so he's like, he agreed. And so he's going to take care of that on Monday, and we will get it organized. We need to have the garage sale so that we can we've got boxes all over the house, just randomly sitting in random places now. We're starting to turn into a maze. And I need the garage cleared out of excess stuff in the garage so I have room to stack the boxes because I really don't think it'll look good showing the house with every room having stacks and stacks of boxes everywhere because then you can't see the room. So we're doing that. I don't really want to get a storage thing because I think we're going to go with pods. So I don't want to have to haul them out to storage and haul them back to put them in the pod. What a hassle. So I don't know. We'll work the logistics out in a little bit. But that's what I'm up to right now. I did get some downloads. So in between Brenda's show and coming on, one of the things my guys had brought to my attention, because I'm a channel and sometimes they just want me to pass messages on. One of the things that they had brought up and brought to my attention was, how we all come to this world and we have sort of a contract as we come in of things that our soul needs to complete in this lifetime. And I had just started watching Sterling and it came up on a show and then Brenda called me and it got interrupted. But in the interim of that, I had this download about life contracts and free will. The topic had come up with free will. And my guys are telling me, well, how free will and your life contract works together in conjunction with each other is you come in with certain lessons in your lifetime and it's quite complicated as you orchestrate this on the other side before you come down. of things you want to achieve in this lifetime, lessons you want to learn, directions you want to go, things like that. And yes, free will does play into this. We can change our directions in our life contract um, with free will and opportunities that arise, making choices, which directions we're going. This does not mean we're going off of the life contract we've contracted into. What happens is the contract doesn't say when you're 10 you're going to achieve this and learn these lessons. When you're 12 you're not going to, you're going to learn these lessons. When you're 20, it's not the way it works. The lessons can be learned in any time of the construct of your life. The free will is how you organize the opportunities that come your way, the direction you're going at that period of time. But you'll always be redirected back to those lessons at some point in time in your life where you'll achieve those. The bonus side is every life lesson in our contract that we learn, we no longer repeat. And, if you learn the lesson at 10 or 12, great. And you acknowledge that lesson has been learned and you're not repeating that. Sometimes we repeat lessons again and again before we get it right and realize that this is the way we need to resolve this. This is why we have repeating patterns happening in our life. A great example of that I see a lot. Women dating the wrong men or men dating the wrong women. And they'll do it again and again and again. Then they'll put their hands up and say, I am not doing this anymore. I'm better off single. And then we are, and I'm one of these people. Repeat that lesson one too many times, burnt one too many times. I quit dating for about 20 years. And then I went back out and started dating again once my daughter was grown and had gone off to college. And I started dating again, and not a bad relationship, not a right fit. And then I threw my hands up when we broke up and said, no, I'm just not doing this. I'm meant to be single. I'm happy single. I've never felt alone. And then lo and behold, my husband walks through the door unexpectedly. I was not looking. And he had never been married. He was on the bucket list. I'm not going to marry a man that has married and has children all over the place. My bucket list was funny. But anyways, and we've been together for over 20 years now, but I wasn't looking. In fact, our first date, he said to me, if you're looking for a husband, you're knocking on the wrong door. And I cracked up laughing, and I'm going, I'm a single mother. I haven't dated in 20 years. I can take care of myself. I make good money. What makes you think I'm looking for a husband? And he sort of looked at me funny. I said, if you're looking for a wife, you're looking in the wrong door. Oh, yeah. Famous last words. We, 7 years later, we got married. We don't commit fast either. In fact, when we moved in together, I kept my apartment for 2 years. And my daughter finished college, she moved home. And lived in my apartment rent-free for a year. I gave her a year off and told her, do whatever you want, but after 1 year, you got to begin life. And, so, yeah, that shows you how free will goes, how free will goes and opportunities come. I always say, just if you're really wanting to meet somebody and get in a relationship, just quit looking. They'll walk through the door unexpectedly. Marry your best friend. Don't go, oh, well, we're friends. I don't want to ruin the life. If you're friends, you're already intimate. You already have a connection. You marry your best friend. If you're marrying your fantastic lover, that fizzles over time. But if you marry your best friend, somebody you have a lot in common with, you always have something in common with them. I don't know. I'm the wrong person for marital advice. My husband and I we both sort of crashed physically. He broke his back, and I ended up in the hospital. We both went down at the same time, and I had a progression in my MS. It slowed me down. I can't do, and I'm very outdoorsy. I can't do the things I used to do, and neither can he. And it's weird because our connection is all outside environmental. It's the farming, the ranching, the the gardening, we go on long motorcycle rides. He doesn't even have his motorcycle anymore. And he wants to buy another one. I'm going, with your back? No way. I'm not even sure he could hold his Harley up now. In fact, I've had people that ride Harley still tell him, your back's too messed up, and where you broke your back, you're never going to be able to. You take the bike down, you'll end up breaking your back and killing yourself. And I'm sort of on that note with him. But so those things that we love to do, and were part of our coming together, we can't do anymore. So it makes it difficult. So it's made it a little hard. And of course, he has not recovered from his back injuries completely. In fact, he's supposed to be having another back surgery. So it's made it really difficult. And I'm having a hard time. Which, if you were on Brenda's show and she read for me, that's the one that's stalling in the reading of my husband. It's not that he doesn't want to move. He's having the same problem with me. We're getting old, and it's getting harder to move. It's not like when we moved here 8 years ago. We just packed everything up and we were here. We moved that house in like 3 days completely. When we closed on this house, we didn't even know we were going to get the house. It was sort of, we bought it last minute. I saw the house. I loved it. I had this dream about my mom welcoming me into the house, and I knew this was the house. We bought it. It went through. It was like everything was in synchronicity. Went home. I said, hey, I just bought a house. There, come and look at it. And he's like, I didn't know we were buying a house. Yeah, surprise. And he just goes with the flow. He lives with a Pisces. He's a Cancerian. He knows, just follow my lead. And, we've been really happy here. And then just right as we were closing the house, he broke his back. Literally 5 days before we closed on the house. We almost lost the house because it broke his back. And he had to get a confirmation from his employer that they were going, once he'd gone through surgery, they'd be rehiring. Well, he ended up permanently disabled, but we needed that verification. He still had a job, But we closed on the house. We moved in. Of course, everybody and their uncle helped us. Our friends came out of the woodwork to help us get moved. And we were out. We were signed the papers on Christmas Eve. We were in the house on the 5th of January, and just, and I wish it would fall that well right now, because it's a slow, long haul. But I'm literally, we're downsizing, and I can't believe how much we've accumulated in the 20 years we've been together. And so we're getting rid of everything. We're going back to the basic simplistics, doing a ton of donations. We're selling the living room furniture, the dining room furniture. I have 2 dining room sets, so I'm keeping the big one because I'm moving. I have the small one set up. It's a table for 4, but I have a table that sits 8 that will fit in our new house. We have selected out beautifully. And of course, I have I have 4 grandchildren, my daughter and son-in-law, who will be over on a regular basis because we're on the way to the coast. So we're going to be in and out. We're going to be an hour apart. So we'll see each other off and on. And I told my daughter, I'm not having holiday meals. I'm not going to make you get everybody in the car and drive an hour to my house. I said, we'll have it at your house. I don't mind cooking and bringing it over, but it's easier for us to get in the car and drive to you than for the whole family to have to pile in and the big hassle. When the kids are comfortable at home, they have a game room that, and she goes, sounds great to me, Mom. I said, and that ends that, and if one of the kids wants to come home, we'll take whoever wants to come over and with them. We'll bring them back. So anyways, I'm looking forward to that. My daughter's just getting so antsy because I'm not already there. And it's funny because we've lived at least a 5-hour apart forever. This is the farthest we lived apart. And up until she had the 3rd child, she didn't want me any place near her. Now she's thinking, I'd really like it closer. It's really nice and convenient when you can just pop over and help. At least when they were in the Vegas, we could come over anytime they called us to come over. It was a 5-hour drive, but that's nothing. Uh, if they needed to go out of town for something, or we were there on a minute. All they had to do was call, and so I'm looking forward to being close. And my daughter and I are very close. She's bossy. She was such an easy kid to raise, and she is so strong-minded and strong-willed. I do not know where she gets that from me. Um, she's her grandmother too. My mother was a very strong-willed woman. But anyways, do it. I'm going to do a reading for the collective, then we will start taking questions. Hello, music. I see that you're in. I got your name right finally. After all this time, I didn't even put it together that it says music with a K. God, I'm an idiot sometimes. I'm surprised Tammy isn't in. She may have had something to do with family because it is Sunday. And she's also very involved in the church and stuff. So, anyways, I'm sure Tammy will want her in, or she may be listening, or she'll watch on the rebroadcast. I'm glad everybody's made it in today. I was going to do 3-card reading general, 5 cards if you do a donation. If you want a question, that's fine. Pop the question in online though, because I don't sit here and monitor my donations. Hopefully Brenda and I will get a schedule together on starting to do readings. As Brenda was saying on her channel, those of you that may not have been in her room, we're going to be doing readings, but both of us are channelers. I'm an open channel. So when I read, I actually channel through my cards. Both of us, one of the things is, as psychics, we learned early is we've always channeled. We both started out just channeling and not actually throwing cards, but everybody loves the visual of the cards. They like one, you're learning the cards and how to read cards yourself when you're watching readers read cards. And you can relate to the cards as something visual. But both of us we're channeling our guides, we're channeling your loved ones as they come forward. And so we thought we would run on that, maybe throw a few cards in between, just, verification type stuff. But it's a twist on something that both of us do, and we're both very, very good channelers. Anytime you see me reading in the background in Brenda's channels, I'm not throwing. Oh, shoot. Well, so much for that deck. I'm not throwing cards at all. I am just channeling information from my guides. So, and I think it's funny because I'm typing away and then Brenda says it before I hit enter. And I've already got it typed out. I hit enter anyways. I just think it's hilarious because we're always in line with each other. That way our guides are working in conjunction with the both of us. So it's funny how that happens. And we laugh about it a lot. I'm sorry, I'm just grabbing another deck. Because I just 52 card pick up that deck because I talk with my hands too much. But anyways, we're looking really forward to working that format and doing that. And Sharon Strawberry Rhubarb, which I haven't seen for a few days, and I need to catch up with her. She was part of a mentor group that I held, 2 or 3 years ago. Sharon and I became really, really close friends. And she's talented. And my guide sent me to her to recruit her in. She had not, her mother was psychic. She read cards, dabbled in them on the side, just like a lot of us did when we were young. And my guides reached out to me and said, you need to work with her. You need to contact her. So I reached out to her and contacted her. And I started this little group of people that I had met in other rooms. And we started working together through Messenger. We would go online once a week, it started out as once a week. And we would practice tarot and talk about, our psychic abilities and practice them. And it was just a really fun group. It was, I was mentoring them to come out, and yet I was learning so much from them too. And we were trying different aspects of our psychic abilities, and we were discovering new things about ourselves. And it was just really a fun group. One of these days, I'm going to put another one together because I had so much fun. We got where we met on Wednesdays, and then we started like Thursday or Saturday night. we started having dinner together, except for we all lived all over the country. So we'd make dinner and we'd go online and we'd eat together and we'd practice together and we'd chat and we all became really good friends. I helped them all launch their own channels, and yet I didn't have one of my own. It took me, it was after Lisa Smith and Sharon both opened their channel, Nasty Women. You guys probably, some of you might remember that channel. It's hilarious. That I finally launched my channel, and really had a good time. But I love reading with Sharon. I'm very, very connected with her. Brenda and Sharon are also really good friends, and we're all three of us are Pisces, and so our. Hey, Dean, I'm live. Okay, well, jump online and join us. In that, not online, jump in the, listen to it. Join us in the background. Okay, we're good. Bye. He forgot I had a program today. He just got home. He just got back from taking his daughter to college. That was Dean. And anyways, so we're going to try to bring Sharon in at least part of the time if she wants to do it. Sharon's a wonderful channeler. She hasn't done it in a while, but you know, it's like riding a bike. You don't lose your skills and abilities. So we're going to try to get her in and joining us at least part time. I know Sharon's busy. She's retired and she's like me. When she retired, she doesn't have enough time in the day to do all her things anymore, you know. And it used to be, oh, work was always a priority. Now you just get overbooked when you're retired. It's a lot of people think, oh, what am I going to do with myself when I retire? Oh, don't worry. When you retire, you won't have enough time in the day to do everything you want to get done. So that's just sort of the way it flows. Anyways, I'm going to quit jabbering and I'm going to do a collective reading and we'll start throwing cards for the group. I'm going to pull postcards only today, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do 3-card readings with postcards. See how that comes out. I like to change it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit more interesting. But for the collective, and you know, the collectives, as much as I don't really read that much political, they always end up having a flavor of political weight in it. And I forever, I love doing political readings. Just that my the work that my son-in-law was doing as an attorney was brings in a serious conflict of interest. So that's why I quit doing political readings. My guides told me too. I talked to my son-in-law about it. He goes, "Thank you," because he was working on some cases that were I didn't want to read on because we don't discuss his work. He doesn't share what he's working on with me, and it would be a real conflict of interest if I touched something that he was doing work on. So, you know, that's why my guys were telling me pull back from the politics and all that, because he lives and interacts with part of that, all that debacle. Better for the safety of my family and myself and my son-in-law. So that makes sense to anybody. But okay, the underlying card of the reading is 3. Yeah, the nine of Pentacles, financial stability. Okay, I was counting the pentacles. Numbers on the top of the card. It would have been easier. That's followed by the King of Cups. This is that nurturing king, that king that's telling, that's taking care of his community, overseeing the abundance, the emotional security. He's a very nurturing king, a very stable king. He's all about community. He's about that nurturing energy, that well-being of all, that love, that compassion for the people and stuff like that. And then we get the Page of Swords. This is telling me that, you know, truths are starting to come out. They're getting revealed. And And we're going to see more and more truths coming out, seeping through the cracks. Of course, it's all seeping through the cracks. The White House is like a sieve. But in this process of this energy, we are going to find balance with that Two of Pentacles. Coming into the reading, and this is a political reading for the a political flavored reading for the collective of the state of our nation. Yeah, my guys are saying it's the state of our nation. It's the state of our nation. We are heading towards that tower moment. This is where we are now. And I am not the only reader that's getting the feeling that Trump is about ready to fall. And I think it is going to happen this month. I've had a vision for over 2 years, the same vision. It never alters, that he is going to be on a stage, on a podium, slurring away his propaganda BS. And he's going to sort of look like he falls asleep and he collapses. And they have to gurney him off. There's not walk him out off. He goes down. He is having, and I keep on hearing stroke. He's having a stroke, major stroke. They're going to pretend like he's recovered from that, and they're going to throw some AI crap out a week or so after it happens. But it'll be clear that it's AI. He's sitting at the Oval doing a AI speech. It's not him, and it'll be noticeably it's an AI. You'll when you see it, you'll know it's AI. I think he's a hard man with his speech patterns, his slurs, his propaganda. I think he's hard to do an AI recreation and make him believable, to tell you the truth. Although, yes, there has been some out there. But, yeah, I do see him falling. My guides have been telling me the number 8, 9, 8, 9. I hear them like they're screaming 8, 9. So I think this is going to happen towards the end of the month of August, and laps over into September as he ends up not returning to office. I don't think he's going to be capable of it because he's going to lose his voice. Oh, I'm sure I'm not the only one. His voice just like scratching a chalkboard. So we'll all miss his voice. And he's going to lose mobility. So, he's going to, I do not going to see him getting prosecuted for his crimes, although he will be indicted again. I think hearings will go on, but he will come out and be told that he is not fit for trial because of his dementia. They will have to open the diagnosis to get him from ever appearing before the court. So he is falling, though. He will have to step down. He's never going to finish his term. Nobody has ever seen him finishing his term. My blood sugars were crashing earlier, so I'm just trying to keep them stable. It's a protein drink. So anyways, we come into this reading with this tower moment. This isn't us living through the tower. This is the tower of the presidency. And my guys are going, yes, it's the presidency. He's got all these lawsuits. I mean, he's got so much legal stuff on his plate that he can't even see straight. In the center of the reading, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is a thief in the night, but it's reversed. I think this is all his criminality, his corruption catching up with him. I know the Senate, and I believe it is the Senate that's doing hearings on Bitcoin and regulations for Bitcoin and stuff like that right now. And they're actually disclosing all the corruptions he's had with his Bitcoin, how much loss people have taken. They've had people testifying on Bitcoin and everything about how much they've lost of their personal savings, retirements, etc., that they invested into it or manipulated to do Bitcoin transactions, and they were robbed and stolen and lost their life savings. While the value of Bitcoin they invested in was at a high when they invested in, but then it plummeted down to nothing. But yet the president walked away with $2.8 million or something like that on a company that stock wasn't worth the paper it was written on. So that kind of stuff is leaking about his corruption, money laundering, etc., along with the banks that have come forward and said, yeah, we shut down 300 accounts. They're getting sued for that now. Well, the bad thing about Trump suing people for stuff like that is they can turn around and say, prove it. We want to do depositions. You're going to have to bring your records and prove that your businesses were legitimate, that these flags of your corruption were incorrect. You weren't money laundering, so then he'll back off, as he always does. So, anyways, hi, Brenda. I'm doing the collective reading, but it's turned into a political, for sure. Crossed by the thief and the knife, and him getting caught in his corruption, and it's becoming a Trump reading. So, forgive me. It's crossed by the Knight of Cups. This is that steady, stable life, Okay, now I finally get it. A lot of readers will call this the false knight. I think this in a Trump reading is the false knight. He's doing everything for everybody. Our economy is great, etc., etc. It's all falsehood. That's the false knight. I never have caught the energy of the false knight with the Knight of Cups before, but in this reading, and my guys are going, yes, absolutely. This is an example of the false knight. Trump is representative of the false knight. He's not there for anybody. He's not, he tries to convince us he's doing great for us when all of us are living in reality. Above this, we get the King of Swords. Of course, the warmonger himself he thinks he is that King of Swords. He's the strength, the power of the almighty king that's going to just go in and blast up another country and take it over. Yeah, he might stand there with a sword and a crown, but it's a false crown. It's a false sword. We all know it. He is in the process of his destruction. Is not in war on another country. It's destruction of our own country in the process. Below that is the stars. That is us wishing upon the stars that the faith would follow the appropriate path and that karma would come to fruition and leave us. I think we all have that same wish. He is on his life path. He is serving his purpose. He is part of the launching of this great awakening, us getting in contact with our spiritual beliefs, our faith in ourselves, our faith in the connection with the divine energy, our connection with each other as community. This is a great period of time of change for our nation. He has drained that swamp. He has exposed the swamp creatures, and and he is living up to his karmic path. He could have taken a lot more positive way of teaching these lessons. He just didn't. He decided corruption and want to be monster, want to be king, want to be some kind of diocesan himself was the direction he thought he should go. Living in the fear instead of the light, in the darkness instead of the light. But he has been a catalyst of great change to not only our nation, but our world, our country, internationally. He has shaken the whole box up and has opened the lid, and Pandora's box is open now. People are getting exposed. Things are going to change worldwide. It's not just in America. It is worldwide. So we can embrace it. We move on as we're moving into the future. What Spirit wants us to know is, with this Four of Pentacles, is we need to be conservative at this point in time. This is the Four of Pentacles. Hold on to what we have. Spend only what we need to spend. Get our reserves and store. Don't go back crazy going shopping because the world's going to end and foods are going to empty. We are going to have some food scarcity, but as you do your weekly grocery shopping, like I've been saying for months, pick up a few extra things, staple items that will store well, and things like that. have a preparedness. Get to know the people around you and build relationships with community, because it is going to take a community to get through this. On services that we can provide each other, on food resources coming together, on just helping each other out a little along. If you have the space or even a balcony, plant a little garden on your balcony. Brenda has been harvesting her tomatoes, her potted tomatoes on her balcony. I want some. I didn't plant anything this year, and I love the garden. But on the other end, I will get that done. But it doesn't take much. You don't have to grow a lot. You can even grow things in your kitchen. There's all kinds of I can't think of like bean roots, bean sprouts, things like that grow only in a few days, and you can harvest them and really quick, easy. I can't think of what they call it. Anyways, easy things that are tasty. You can throw them in a stir fry and put on a sandwich, whatever. But they're renewable resources that you can grow to help and bring a lot of nutrition into your diet. That you can do. It takes very little space to have a few potted plants that produce fruit rather than flowers. So look into some of that stuff. That's one of the things I study regularly because I love the garden. But we need to hold on to what we have. We need to hold on to our resources and stuff, because it is going to get tougher before it gets better. Even when he falls, we still got a lot of cleaning up to do. It's not going to be, like I said yesterday, it's not going to be a magic wand and poof, everything goes back to the way it was. Nothing's going back to the way it was. This is a new time. We are going to reinvent ourselves and evolve. And it's going to take community coming together and building the strengths and as a nation to make change in the direction we want to go. So keep that in mind, and don't stress over don't go Chicken Little. Oh, all the food's gone, the water's gone, no, it's not going to be that bad. But we need to be resourceful. We need to be hyper vigilant about how we're using our money, our resources, and work in community, supporting each other. So it's not man after man. It's us coming together as a group. It's not what we can ravish off our neighbor to survive. And as we grow in a community, it's going to take a community to hold our power and our strength during these times. Where we're feeling in this all right now is the hermit. We're sort of keeping to ourselves. We're keeping quiet about what we have, what we've accumulated, etc., etc. Yeah, keep that to yourself under your breast. But do be open in a community of what skills you have, and helping each other out, getting to know your neighbors if you don't know your neighbors. I've never lived in a neighborhood. I didn't know everybody around me in all directions. So, because I am that person and I'm very social. And I sit outside all the time. So not only do I know my neighbors, I know everybody that has a dog that walks past my house. Eventually, I talk to them all and become acquainted with everybody, because that's who I am. But I like having that community connection with people. I'm not over at their house, being best friends. I'm just cordial. I'm courteous. I'm open to things. I stop and chat, and I love people, so I love being around people. So that's just part of who I am. And I know some people aren't like that. They're very closed, or I'm very private in my house. But when I'm outside of my house, I'm open to everybody. So it's strange. Also, another position that we're in as a collective, we're feeling that 9 of Pentacles. We're feeling like we're bound up a bit right now, but this is an artificial boundary. Part of moves one pull. We can walk through this, but we're doing everything right now sort of cautiously, because we don't know what direction is going to turn next, and with this administration that we're living under, and the impacts of those of you that are we get a lot of Canadian people out of Mexico, people abroad. into the channel. We're all in the same boat though. But I think our fence here is not an obstacle in our way. It's an obstacle that we've put up as a protective barrier around us. And it's that caution. But we're going to get through these times. We're going to get through these times as a community, as a collective, and with support of each other here and abroad, because we are internationally connected now. And yes, the world is looking at Trumpism as awful, but they differentiate the United States, people of the United States, from the government that's running the show right now. Thank God. Just like we look at Israel, the people of Israel are good people. The Israeli government is the problem. And they're suffering the same way we are right now. They don't have a say in what Netanyahu is doing and what Trump is doing and what they're getting in bed together doing. But it's not the people of the country that is the issue. It's the government that is the issue. The oligarchs that's running the show is the issue. And we're recognizing that. The message from Spirit, the Spirit's coming with the Page of Pentacles telling us we are going to be okay. Yes, times are tough, but we are financially going to get through this. Yes, we're having economic problems right now. Things are going to cost a lot of stuff, but we are going to make it through this period of time. And the final outcome card, which I absolutely love in this reading, is the Ace of Cups. Our cups will runneth over. So when we work through this period of time, we will find abundance and community in community and moving forward into a better new world. And I mean world, not just our country, but worldwide. We are going to take control of a lot of this stuff. We will reestablish agreements, and my phone's blowing up here. Please confirm. Okay, I have a CT coming up. I thought I missed it on the 18th. Okay, 18th. Okay. Anyways, we are going to come out good. Our cups are low. Cups are always abundance, emotion, emotional connection. It's a yes card. It's a positive card. It's telling us that we are strong. We are going to achieve, and we will make it through this. Are we going to struggle? Absolutely. Everything's not going to be super easy, but we are not going to starve to death. We're not going to lose our homes. We are going to make it through this period of time. I mean, people can make it through the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl and World War II and all that. We can make it through this administration. We just have to have faith. God is out there, or our higher power, whatever your belief system is. I'm not going to put mine on anybody else. We have to have faith that the divine is looking after us, and we are standing in the light of goodness. So that is what matters, is we do not need to sit in that fear mongering and feed that. I try not to put my energy into that atmosphere of fear and greed and all that. I don't know. I'm not that person that's ever wanted a mansion. I've never felt like I should be the millionaire. I wouldn't know what to do with all that. It would just feel so out of norm. I think ultimately we all want the same thing out of life. We want a comfortable home. We don't want to struggle from check to check. We would love to take one of those conceptual vacations once in a while that we've only heard of. And I have a rule of thumb: a vacation isn't visiting relatives, which is always how my family vacations. Seeing relatives. But that's not a vacation. I mean, I have relatives who live in interesting places. That's the vacation part of the, but just going to relatives' house is not a vacation. I want to go back into Canada and tour the side of Canada I haven't seen. I've been all over BC, but I have not been on the eastern side. I've got a very dear friend in the room right now that I would love to meet in person. I think we'd have a lot of fun. And I need to get my passport once I get settled down too. I don't have a passport. Last time I spent time in Canada, I could just drive over the border. It wasn't I had to have a driver's license and say, I'm visiting, I'll be here for so many days, and have a great trip. Welcome to Canada. I just think it's weird that you have to have a passport to go to Canada or Mexico. Okay, so that is that for the collective, and that's enough for politics. Politics shouldn't even be read on Sundays. I should know better. Maybe that's why I dropped my whole deck on the floor and it's everywhere. The guys are trying to tell me something. I shouldn't be reading politics on a Sunday. Anyways, it usually doesn't get that political. But anyhow, I think we're all going to do fine in the long run, in the end. Throw that back on my shelf. And let's get down to the important people here. Us, the collective. Oh, yeah. Brenda and I, dinners and antique shopping. And I got to come up when the weather's changing. They have all the winter clothes out so I can buy some beautiful sweaters up there. Clothing lines in Canada make some of the nicest sweaters and jackets and stuff. I'm sure if they sell it on BC, they'll sell it on the East Coast too. I gotta do a little rewardrobing. I'm sure Brenda won't mind going shopping. And I can't wait to meet her husband in person. I've talked to him online from time to time. Such a sweet man. And you know, Brenda, I'm not going to be that far from New York. So if you ever want to come down, and we know a singer in New York that would be really fun to go see in person. Such a beautiful place. You know who I'm talking about. And I'm sure my daughter could go, oh yeah, that's such and such. You know. I do not know my way around New York. I've actually never been to New York. My daughter and son-in-law, my son-in-law grew up in Long Island. My daughter and son-in-law lived in the Bronx. No, yeah, the Bronx. My daughter worked in Queens and lived in the Bronx, and my son-in-law worked in Manhattan. But when Dharma was on the train, I was like, "Oh no! When she gets on, we'll lose. She'll lose her connection." My daughter was always calling me from the train, and oh, that thing is noisy. And we'd be talking. She'd get on the train, and boom, when she went through a tunnel or whatever, wherever it goes, we'd lose connection. Anyways, my daughter loved living in New York. I will not wander down there by myself without somebody that knows their way around. But my new next door neighbor is like, "Oh, we got to go to New York together," and I'm like, scares me a little bit. Yeah, the sugar bar. I know I'm going to look it up and see where it's at one of these days. I have haven't done it yet. Wouldn't it be fun to both not even tell her we're going to show up and see how long it takes us for us to see us in the audience? I think it'd be fun. She's the most interesting person, though, and love her energy. Her voice is phenomenal. I gotta go look up. She just posted. She's posting her show on Facebook today, so I'm gonna have to go watch that. Anyway, let's get it there. Got my deck shuffled. I know I see her writing an album, and my I remember last week I told her there's something in one of her journals, or where she writes music or writes journals. There's something in there. She's supposed to go back up to 3 books, and she'll know when she sees it. It's going to be integrated onto what she's writing now. And Dharma's not in the room, but I could just see it. Okay, we're going to start out with Marby today, and I'm just going to read for you all day today, Marby. I love how you're just embracing your power, and it's you're illuminating now. I think you have a little fear of that attention, though. That shift that you're getting from it. Okay, well, we come in. That's why I'm saying this is you got the 5 of Swords right there. You're standing in your truth, your strength, and all that. You've been standing in a dry lake bed, and look, there's growth all around your cup. Cup is abundance, and it's funny that the cup is part of the reading, even though this is the 5 of Swords, which is an inner conflict card. Swords are always have inner conflict when I read them. But this card is that hope of life. You've got life in the middle of a dried up lake bed or water bed, and your cup there meaning abundance. That's emotional security, abundance. Swords of being you standing in your strength and power. So you need to embrace that strength and power. Step away from this change, because when you make a great big breakthrough in your life and you empower yourself and you stand in that strength, it's a little bit frightening for you to take full control over everything in the situation and empower yourself and embrace that power. And yes, your light is glowing. There's going to be people that notice that change in you. People see it. You just have an illumination about yourself now. And yes, there'll be somebody that's still out there struggling, jealous that you're making that breakthrough and that you're achieving that. In the Center of Pentacles, you have a fear right now of being left out in the cold. Like you feel like you're struggling financially. Well, as you free yourself from that person that's been tapping your energy, you're going to find that you have all the pentacles you need. So you need to move out of that underlying fear energy that you're keeping to yourself, because you're also noticing you're empowering yourself. You're standing up for yourself now. You're standing in your strength, your power. This is in the underlying. This is what's the little tapes in your head that you've been saying to yourself for years. You need to finally release yourself from that energy, because it's not real. It's not your today. It's your past. And you need to embrace your now and let go of that fear energy, that struggle, that lesson that you've already learned. By empowering yourself, you have achieved those lessons. You're moving forward now. Yes, it's old, it's familiar, it's comfortable. We've all been in that energy. It's time to free yourself from it and know that you need to let yourself go and pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments. You're standing up in your true energy, your true self, and your true achievements. You're not in this alone. You're in this with partnerships. Us in the community, family and loved ones around you, friends around you, they're all noticing this change in you, this light that's surrounding you. Accept that, embrace that acknowledgement from people, and the gratitude of everybody around you supporting you moving forward, as you're standing in your strength. So, you know, I love your energy. This great growth energy that you have. It is just empowering you and it's just bringing you forward in fruition. Let go of the past feelings, the past tapes that we all have those tapes in our head that we tell ourselves, oh, I've always struggled. Nobody's, mine is, I'm always there helping people, but when I'm in a period of time of need, nobody shows up. I have had to make myself stop saying that because it's not necessarily true. I have tons of friends and stuff that show up and support me all the time, but I always feel like I'm out there in the cold by myself because I've done that most of my life. And it's not true. It's just a tape I keep saying to myself. And that's what you need to let go of is those old tapes. Yes, you've struggled. You've been a single mom. You've done things on your own. It hasn't been easy, but look how far you've come. And you're empowering yourself now and you're standing in that strength. So you have that. It's time to let go of those old tapes, shred them, burn them, write it down on paper and set it on fire and let that go back to the universe. It's no longer yours to own. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, my daughter says, and it's funny, because Brenda's daughter says the same thing. You know, they acknowledge that we have these abilities, but it's always attached to the word, but we're a little crazy. You're not crazy. Embrace it. You're just growing. Okay, the postcard from Spirit has a message. It says, you are magic. Let's see what this is that always connect to the reading somehow. We know everything in the universe is perfect, even if it has flaws. And we view the creation of Spirit in total awe. All is unique, yet part of the unity of experience. But the human experience is a little different from ours. You tend to have specific standards that for what you consider ideal, and it isn't serving you right. Now, I'm sorry, I'm hearing the echo in my ears. I had an earbud in. So forget your idea of perfection and see through our eyes, allowing things to be as they are without judgment. Don't wait until perfect moments or moods to start something. Instead, enter life with all its flawlessness, flossomeness. What a word. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Let others who let's let others be who they are, imperfect and human, complex or simple. It doesn't matter, for there's always something to discover, experience, and love. When you drop the need for an idea, you uncover the real treasure, which will be far more interesting and valuable. Loving you like crazy. I like this card. I love this card. Remember that. We don't have to live in perfection. Really hard for some of us perfectionists, isn't it? I have this feeling you're one of them. You're one of us. Always wanting to do everything right, never make a mistake. And then I quilt. And I rip. If I make mistakes in my quilt, I rip. And I redo it. So it's perfect. And there is no such thing as a perfect quilt. There is going to be a flaw. And so at one point in time, I finally embraced this thing. All the little flaws in my quilt, those are the love that I sewed in. Because it's the imperfection that I allowed myself to expose myself to because I am not perfect. Nobody is. So those are the little strands of love I have sewn into my quilts. Sounds good, doesn't it? That lesson my mom told me. Don't dwell on the negative. Embrace your imperfections and chalk them up to those life lessons. Turn the negative into something positive. It's a learning experience. And then move forward. The lessons you've learned, so you're not repeating them over and over again. Okay. Next up is Trend Zone in the room nice and early. Very surprised. I love you, Trend Zone. And I love reading for you too. I've been throwing some interesting cards for you the last few readings. Okay, the underlying card of this reading is the Six of Wands. Oh, you're a celebrity. The cameras are on you, snapping pictures of you. You're being noticed by those around you. I don't think you're going to be in the press, but I love it. But yes, you are not out there hiding. People are noticing your beautiful energy. You are the embodiment of swords. That is that King of Swords. You stand in your truth, your strength. I think you are a man that just this is your card. This is the one that shows who you are. You're that warrior. You're that soldier. You're the one that stands for good and truth, and you're not afraid to let people know what you believe in, what your truth is, and that you can move forward in your strength and in your power. You're surrounded by also the energy of the inspiration of wands. I got these cards for you yesterday too. That is the inspiration of wands. That is the queen of wands. This is that wand that's helping you ascend. She lives in that fire energy. She takes action. She motivates you into taking action yourself. But you are not a person that sits around waiting for the world to come to you. You experience life. You watch life. You see that around you, and you don't let life happen to you. You participate. You do the things you love to do. You help the people you love around you, and that's just part of your makeup. You're creative, you're bright, you're smart, and you live in that beautiful energy. I'm pulling from the wrong side. Look at the underlying cards. Other card that comes up in this reading that needs to be said is that Spirit of Wands. You know, that's that messenger saying, stay in your energy, stay in that not wands, swords, stay in that truth energy, that strength energy. It's where you need to have your power, have your energy concentrating from. It's that energy that you carry in your being. We come into this reading with, of course, a pentacle, because you are the Mr. Midas touch. You get the Ace of Pentacles, letting you know that right now, what you're doing financially and in some of the things you love to do as a hobby is work with finances, investments on the side. It's a passion of yours. You're making the right decisions, and you're keeping the abundance. You're keeping your gold pieces, and you are financially secure. Follow your instincts. Follow, you know what you're doing. You do it as a hobby. You understand what you're doing, and you are taking the right actions now. So keep on doing what you're doing, and you are going to continue to be financially secure. Here's another strength card that's reflecting your energy. It's you're the emperor. You are the king of your kingdom. That's your strength card. You're an embodiment of strength and power, but also in faith. And you hold this dear in your heart, your faith, your strength. It is what represents you. It's what people see in you as this strong, tender, loving man that is there for people, and that really embraces life, and stands as his own faith and power. They see that in you. You exude it. Your energy reads it. I mean, we have never met in person, but yeah, I feel like I know you. The energy is absolutely wonderful. You put out the best energy. Right in the middle of your reading is the Five of Wands. This is a little inner conflict that you're having going on in your own head. It is not a conflict that you have out there in the universe with other people. This is that infighting, making decisions, deciding what it is you're wanting to do. Yesterday we got that tower card written, sitting here reading, and I went, he's got a tower now. He's not having a tower moment. No, you have a great foundation. You're an observer. You're watching everything go on around you because you're not involved in the middle of everything falling apart. You've always been secure in your strength and your power. But it breaks your heart to watch so many people struggling right now and all the things in this world happening. It really gets to you. And you cannot be that one person out there that's going to try to fix the world. And you know that's not your life's path, to go out there and put band-aids on everything. But it's an inner conflict. It's hard for you to watch other people struggling and going through things. This really gets at your heartstrings. I don't know what sign you are, but you are a sign that has water energy all around it, I'm sure. And I don't feel like you're a water sign either. I feel like you're an earth sign, or an air sign. And let me know what sign are you. But you have that water energy around you. You probably have a lot of intuitive abilities. You're connected both spiritually and psychically. You live in that beautiful energy, and you're such an observer. You're a seer. You're a protector. You show that strength. You show that tenderness and hope around people. You're an ear to somebody that needs somebody to talk to. But you're not taking on their problems. You're giving them great advice so that they can help themselves. So that is that conflict that sometimes you see. You would love to be able to wave your wand and your power and say, let's fix it all. But that's not your job. That's not your life path. You're not there to fix the world, and you know it. But it hurts you to watch others suffer around you. I get the Lover's card, but this is the Lover's card in the masculine. This is an energy where you're working with other people, friends, associates. You're pulling together, and this is partnership. This is not a love affair. You do not have a man coming in your life. This is friendships. This is partnerships. This is people within the church or your belief group that you're working together to do something for, maybe community. I can see you out there doing community outreach programs, mentoring people in your area and stuff like that. This is some of those things that you put out there, that energy for, and that is that partnership that you're combining yourself in. The universal final card of this reading wants to let you know you need to remember to stay grounded. So get out there in nature, kick your shoes off and put your feet on the ground. Get grounded. This is the life force energy. This is you connected with the divine energy and the energy of Mother Earth. So remember to keep yourself grounded. It's going to keep your feet on the ground and keep you stable, but it's also going to keep you in connection with your divine energy that you walk in every day. So blessing to you, Transition. I love your cards. I always love your cards. I love the energy you have. And keep up being you. You do you, because you're a beautiful person and you're a great example for those around you. And if you're not involved in mentorship, maybe you need to be involved in some mentorship with some of the young men in your area to help them move forward and be the best that they can be. Because I think you're a good example of that energy, hardworking, ethics, and strength. Yes, please don't forget the thumbs up. Yesterday's video only had 2 thumbs up, and it does help spread the channel and get me out there on YouTube with the algorithms. Pasta, potato salad, corn on the cob, which you can't eat, but I love fresh tomatoes. from her balcony garden and cooked ham. I can't eat ham. I try not to eat too much ham. Sounds great, Brenda. I'll be there in about probably 10 hours. No. Did you see that? Did I send you the stuffed pepper? I'll look and see if I sent it to you. I found this recipe on the internet for stuffed peppers, and it's stuffed with chicken. And I do a beef and rice stuffed peppers. Oh, and it just looked delicious. So I mean, I'll look to see if I sent it to you. If I didn't, I will send you the recipe because it's so easy. And I absolutely love stuffed peppers. I when I got this stuff the other day, I got tons of red peppers. I absolutely love red peppers. That's what I made for breakfast this morning. Red peppers, onions, potatoes, all sauteed up into a hash, and then I steamed eggs on top, and oh, so good. It's a breakfast I used to make my daughter every Saturday. I made my daughter breakfast in bed every Saturday. She never dawned on her that I woke her up at 8 in the morning and fed her breakfast in bed. Because after she ate breakfast, we got up and cleaned house. And then we went grocery shopping and all that. And then I would take her out to lunch. But it never dawned on her. The breakfast and bread bribery was I was waking her up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning so that we could get moving and I'd have a clean house for the week. She came home from college and I forgot she was there because she came in late. And she's waiting and waiting. And finally she yells out the bedroom, "Are you making breakfast, Mom?" And I walked in and I said, "What?" And she says, "Are you making me breakfast in bed? I'm home." And then I told her why I used to make breakfast in bed. She couldn't believe she didn't figure that out. Oh, the thing my mother did it to us too. But I was so smart. I'm so much like my mother and things like that. It worked. It worked really well. My daughter hates cleaning house. And the whole time I was raising her, I think I got her to do dishes twice in her childhood. She'd do the floor. She loved mopping the floors and cleaning the bathroom, okay, if that's what you want to do, perfectly fine with me. I'll do the dishes, which is my least favorite show. I love doing laundry, though. Laundry is the household chore. I could do laundry every day. My daughter hates laundry. And she has 4 children and a husband. She's doing laundry for her. She has nonstop laundry. When I'm there, I help her get things folded up and stuff. But anyways, yeah. I was just starting to read some of this. Yeah, we got to find the sugar bar in New York. I'm going to go back. Get a little sidetracked here. Music. I can't believe it took me so long to figure out your name. I always saw music as silk at the end. I don't know why the I and the K. I'm dyslexic, so I was reading that as it was Musilk. For some reason, I see an L between the I and the K, and there isn't. But even when I look at it now, I still see it spelled silk. So, music. I'm inserted an L in your name that doesn't belong there. Energy or music. I didn't pull a card for or I read for you. I need to pull a postcard for Trend Zone. Here it tells me They have a message. I want this one. Friend zone, you are loved. It says, dearest you, do you ever wonder whether your ideas and inspirations might be coming through your soul rather than generated from your mind alone? You already know that. We are here to tell you we are always whispering in your ear about your highest good. We are conduit we are conduits for spirit, letting you know that you're a living channel for this awesome co-creative energy. When you're feeling inspired, it means you heard us. Inspiration means spirit is breathing through you. Inspiration needs your human passion to keep it going so you can make a difference in the world. So keep moving on what inspires you. Let yourself be led into the new experiences and know that this is why you are on earth. Your purpose is to discover your spirit nature and to bring forth through your efforts whatever is meant to be. Wondrous miracles have a way of showing up when you let inspiration propel you forward. You are so loved. Gosh, that is crazy to pull this card, isn't it? Because this is the way, the energy I feel around you is that mentorship, that knowing what's right. Yes, this card is perfect for you. Trinzo. Beautiful man, beautiful energy. Teddy bear. Love your energy. Okay, for music now. Woohoo, do you get a new love coming your way? You know what? Did I shuffle the? I'm going to shuffle these. I'm getting all of the cards. I know I didn't set them all on top. I think I did. I'm a good shuffle though. That if that Lover's card needs to come up, it will come back up. It did. And that way, funny how that's the way it works. The guides wanted you to have 5 cards. Underlying card of this reading is the Action of Cups. This is that steady moving knight. He's emotional. He drives your creativity, you're emotional. This is your water energy. This is your energy of abundance. Know that you're moving steady through this period of time, that you will have the things you need as you need them. Abundance doesn't mean an overabundance of things. This is meaning you're meeting that your needs are being met right along the way. Don't put any worry into that energy because everything will fall into place as it's needed. Oh, I love this. You get the card of oneness. This is your connection with the divine energy, your spiritual connection, your connection with your higher power, God, the one source, whatever your belief system falls into. This is that connection with that divine energy, though. It's also your ability to connect with your spirit guides and to receive messages as they help guide you through this period of your life. Remember, be a Pisces, even if you're not a Pisces. Go with the flow of how things are occurring in life and enjoy that ride in the wave in the ocean. I love this. This is my favorite card for a Pisces card. It's the Spirit of Cups. This is that messenger card that says, hey, come join us, Pisces, out in the water and go with the flow and enjoy life as you're going and experiencing life as it comes. So that's Pisces. Love that, free spiritness. And you are connected with your higher power, your higher self. This is your subconscious mind, the one that's quiet, that you don't always connect with. This is the one that opens up your dreams and hopes and wishes and prayers. This is the one that has the knowledge that you were born with, but is kept secret to your lower self. This is that little voice on top of your head that says, hey, we need to go this direction. It works with your spirit, guys. It's connected with your spiritual energy. And so you need to meditate periodically. When you meditate, you're entering your higher consciousness. You're more open to what your guides are saying and hearing them. And know that you have a really great connection. So connect with your higher self. You need to ground yourself. You need to stay meditated, stay grounded, because this is when the energy flows. Also, watch your dreams. Your dreams are giving you messages and resolutions to things that are happening along the way in your life and will help you navigate that. Your spirit guides many times, because you're more open when you're in a sleep state. They will give you a lot of messaging through your dreams and during your sleep state. And you'll wake up and you go, oh, that's what I need to do. You know, oh, that's the direction I need to go. It's helping you relax and connect with your higher spirit and to listen to that guidance as you're moving through. So be aware of that. Watch your dreams, and you'll start seeing that message and coming through that direction, or resolutions to problem that you've had that maybe you weren't quite solving, and you wake up and oh, you have a solution suddenly. That's your spirit guides talking to you in your sleep, giving you messages and helping guiding you through the way. You come into this reading with the Action of Swords. This is that Knight of Swords card. He is strong. He is running in his power. He's charging forth, fighting for what he wants, standing in his truth and beliefs, and charging forward. He is not surrendering. He is moving in with his blue flag of power, strength, knowledge, and faith. As you move in that energy, I do see love coming into your life. I'm feeling like this is a love relationship, or if you're in a relationship, a better development of this relationship, strengthening of this love partnership that is coming forward. This is somebody that will be connected to deeply within your heart, that you have same focus of directions that you want to go in your life, in your family, in a partnership with somebody. So I see this as a really good relationship developing or continuing to develop and strengthen as you go on. Right in the center of the reading, you're sitting in that energy of the Emperor. Emperor doesn't have to be masculine. It's masculine, feminine. This is your energy of faith and strength, and your energy setting in that power. That it's a Leo card. It's a card of strength and power, with the beautiful lion, but it's also a lion that has faith in God, faith in your belief systems, that you are doing the right things under your beliefs, and you're not going to falter from that. You trust in the faith of what your guides and what your higher powers are directing you towards, and this is a great thing. You need to stay in this beautiful energy. I think this person, because it's so close to your Lover's card, this person that is in your life in partnership is also carrying that energy along with you. So I'm feeling like that it's a union that has that truth and faith and love. You're on the same destiny track together. You do have some conflicts going on, because the next card is that Five of Swords. You sometimes question, are you going in the right direction? And, you may question your faith and your strength at some time, or your belief system at some time, but know that you're on the right track. You have this cup surrounded by life in the middle of a dried pond, a dried lake, but there's life all around you. The cup, abundance. This is abundance power. This is emotional energy. This is your belief system. Anytime you see a cup, it's abundance, it's faith, it's all that water energy. Even though this is a sword, this is saying, don't question your belief systems. Stay true to yourself, true to your beliefs, and true to your strength, and what you believe in. You have life around you. You have a cup of abundance meant, despite everything dried up around you in a negative way. You are going to see this through. So do not sit in that worry energy. Know that you're doing the right thing as you're moving forward, and you're not alone in this. You've got this partnership going on, this Lover card, somebody either new or somebody already in your life that you've been partnership, and it's only getting better and stronger. You are on the right track, though. you do need to take into consideration, because the last card of the reading is the Four of Pentacles, is be frugal with your money. Be frugal with how you're spending right now. Hold on to what you've got. Of course, take care of your coffers, take care of your cabinets. Don't go on any great big spending sprees or anything. Just get everything that has to be paid, and then tuck a little away for an emergency. When you're grocery shopping, pick up those few extra supplies to tuck away in the cabinet just in case times get harder, and know that you're going to be okay. Just be very frugal at this point in time, though, and it's going to serve you quite well. So blessings to you. I hope that resonates. And if this is a new love coming towards you, well, open your arms to it, because I think this person is going to be right connected spiritually, very supportive with you. If it's one you're already in, it is just going to strengthen in that energy. You're working in partnerships with somebody that you very much care deeply about, and you're going to do quite well and be quite secure in that energy. So blessings to you. Let me get these cards shuffled all up. It's funny when I shuffle it, because I shuffle in tiers. So it's funny to have all the cards come up from one reading to another. Just showing you, spirit sometimes has similar messages to walk across the board. And remember, as I'm reading for everybody, if something rings true to you on one of the readings I'm doing for another person, those messages are meant for you to hear too. They do apply to you as well. That's why they're ringing so true, and feeling so familiar is the messages just aren't for the person that's being read for everybody in the room, because we're a shared energy network, and we're hearing these messages for reasons. Even when you're reading watching a replay of another reader, when those messages are ringing in your ear and you're seeing truth in them that apply to you, those were meant to hear it. I always turns on the number after your name is one year off from my birthday. So every time I look at it, it's like, why is my birthday showing? I was born in 64, not 65. That's funny. Next up is my dear, lovely Brenda. After we get off the phone, Brenda, Thursday, I'll give you a call back this afternoon before it gets too late, so that I don't cut into bedtime and dog walk and all that. Take your phone with you just in case you're out walking the dog. What about Thursday? Doing a program Thursday coming up, because I know you're busy Friday. We'll talk. Anyways, this reading's for Brenda. Oh no, I need a postcard for music. This is coming from You Are Loved. So, this is dearest you. We are sending you waves of love and joy as we watch you reap the rewards of your tenacity and faith. We know how long it's taken for you to reach some of your goals, and you've had disappointments along the way. Right now, we suggest you take a deep breath, fill yourself up with gratitude, and tune into the vibrations of well-being. Temporary conditions may be trying to hypnotize you into seeing something else as your reality, but we know that happy rewards are on their way to you even now. Changes is only consent to be open to it. You will achieve your dreams and more. We promise. But it's more important to be happy. Rewards will be gathered up in the small moments and gentle breezes and the soft kisses and quiet commitments. Your happiest moments will be on the journey itself, not arriving at any destination. You are surrounded by so much love and care. Can you feel us? I like that. That's beautiful. Just on your life path, you're just going with the flow. I love that energy. Okay, for Brenda. Oracle Sunday, and I keep forgetting to pull the Oracle. That is my most favorite Oracle deck. Brenda sending me a list of the Oracle. She also sent me the source in which she's buying them. And I buy from a different, I have a third party company that I buy decks from. I'm just not spending money that way right now. I did buy a few weeks back. Had a lot of contributions. I went and bought me 2 decks, which I have used. I think I've also backed him now. Just so I need more cards. And I when I unpack all my cards, I'm going to start rotating because I have over 200 decks of cards, if you can believe that. I couldn't believe it. I lost count after 200. Johnny from Johnny's Apprentice, I don't know what his count is up with. I remember when he hit the 200 mark, though, and thought, I wonder how many I have on account of my cards. And I was about 150 way back, and that was a few years ago too. Wow. And I need to go through and pull decks I don't use because I have some that are just collector's items, and I'll keep those. Like my Edgar Allan Poe. Lots of people that I absolutely loved reading Edgar Allan Poe. And we were, of course, deconstructing all of his literature and stuff like that. It was a really fun class, and I just fell in love with his writing. And I have his deck, but I don't care to read with it, for people. It's more of I like to throw the cards and see what messages come forward, but it's not one that I find cohesive to read people with, or read for people with. It doesn't give that kind of message vibe for me, for those kind of readings. But it's more of a passion of, I just love Edgar Allan Poe's writing. I'm sorry, but I need to. I do a commercial because I love these overnight oats. If you haven't tried them, you really should try them. Send me a message. I will send you a link, get you 20% off if you're interested in overnight oats. I'm a diabetic. I'm a type 1 diabetic, juvenile diabetic. I find these are, and I have a lot of digestive problems. These are easy to digest. They're protein rich. They set really well on my stomach. I have no side effects from my other fruit flavored ones. They're really great. They come in all different flavors. And I even got Dean to start them, and he loves them. And you can make them whether you can eat them with 5 ounces of any kind of milk product you like, or 8 ounces of milk, any kind of milk product you like. You mix them up. You can add additional protein, and I do that. Additional protein to them so that they're protein rich. They're great for stabilizing your blood sugar. They're filling. They don't leave you bloated, stuffed, or anything. I love them. So if you are interested, flip me a little message. If you're on Messenger, just flip one through Messenger, and I will send you a link for 20% off. They're wonderful. And they have a coffee line product too, a protein coffee product that are made just like the overnight oats. They send you a free shaker bottle, which these are wonderful. They're really heavy duty plastic. They're not the plastics that break down like little plastic bottles that are going to line your body with plastics. They're They're tight. They're sealed. They wash in the dishwasher wonderfully. Half the time I don't even run them through the dishwasher. I just wash them out with a little soap and water and remake them. And I bought extra cups because I keep a couple going in the fridge all the time. And I love them though. And if you have dietary needs or you're always on the go, it's great. You can grab them to go, throw them in your purse, your backpack, your bag, your briefcase, whatever it is you're carrying to bring your lunchbox, whatever. And you've got breakfast on the go. You don't have to use any silverware or anything. You drink them right out. They're wonderful. And the one I'm drinking right now is green because it is what is that green tea? The one that you make. It's mango and I'm drawing a blank. It's a green tea, anyways, and oats and protein. It's really good and very, very blood sugar stabilizing. I drink one of these in the morning. I rarely eat breakfast early in the morning. I really don't usually eat until about 2 o'clock, but I can drink one of these in the morning. They don't upset my stomach. They don't trigger my pancreatitis. And I am not hungry until about 2 in the afternoon because they really tide you over. It's like a good hearty bowl of oatmeal. And the flavors are wonderful. They even had one I ordered on a whim. Was orange sickle, orange creamsicle, I think is what they called it. And I thought, okay, let's see if they get that flavor profile right. Because we all grew up on those orange sickles. It was good. They could have made a little bit more orange in it, but it was really good. And I was surprised. And oats with orange, that didn't sound like it would quite go, but it was really good. The peach cobbler, the blueberry, the blackberry pies. Wonderful. I like the fruit ones the best personally, but I'm a nut for mango. I love mangoes, and they have the dried fruit that when you make them up and you put them in overnight, the fruit softens up and it's wonderful. And it's real fruit. It's real dried fruit in there. It's not some fake flavoring. So highly recommend them. That was my free commercial. They are not a sponsor, but if anybody from Overnight Oats wants to sponsor me, I'm more than happy to do so. But they want to get a cooking show, the Get Hex Clyde, and they can send me some free pots and pans. This is for Brenda. Yeah, that's one of the things when I get moved and I get my kitchen remodeled. I want my stove in the middle of in a bar. And I will start doing some cooking videos because I really do love to cook. And I have a lot of really easy recipes that are quick and easy that people can make on a whim, that are nutritious and they're diet friendly. And you can add meat to any dish I make. I sometimes add meat. I'll make them with and without meat because I do eat more on the vegetarians. Though I do integrate a little bit of meat in my diet because I do need some real protein. It's just that my body doesn't digest it well because I do not make the enzymes that break down proteins for my digestion and to absorb those vitamins and minerals because of my pancreatitis. But I do have a lot of really, really good vegetarian meals that you can integrate meat into. I do it all the time for my husband. So I'll be doing that. I will be doing more and more those type of things once I get moved and settled in and life finds its rebalance. But yeah, might as well share some of the things I love to do with the community. You guys can join me. I may get a whole nother community. Who knows? I'll probably do it under a different channel name, but I'll link everything together. So for Brenda, the underlying card of the reading, of course, is the Ace of Cups. Your cup is runneth over. Your abundance, your love, your energy, your spiritual connection with God. Everything you do for everybody, the support you give everybody in the community, also the community supporting you, your prayer groups, everything your energy is runneth over. Brenda, you're a beautiful person. And of course, you have so much to celebrate because you have so much wonderful things going on in life and the community around you. And we do celebrate you. We are here in gratitude to you, too. I'm not only speaking for myself, I think I can actually speak for the entirety of the community. Um, you're in that energy of the high priestess. This, I think, is very reflective of you, your spirituality, your practices, what you bring forward to our community is you are that high priestess. You share your gifts with everybody happily. And this is your connection with the divine energy and the gifts that God has given you and that you share so freely with our community. So blessings to you. Wow. Your head's about going to explode. I don't Brita's great. Oh, quit. This is also the Nine of Pentacles coming out for you, telling you you're financially stable, you have abundance in your life, and this is also leading you to happiness and happy families. So I love the energy. Of course, the next card is totally reflective of you. You come into the reading with the action of Wands. That is that Knight of Wands. That fire energy. You were in the fire horse season, and wands are coming up for everybody. You were getting that today in readings on your channel too. Lots of wand energy, that fire energy, which is interesting for us water signs, as we are charging forward in that wand energy though, and you're taking charge and you're leading the force, and you don't hesitate to just keep on moving, taking action, making change, always doing more and more. I believe you're having a reading coming up on Friday. Is it Friday? I don't know. You'll have to put it in the chat that she's going to be joining Nate, and love the energy of Nate. But Nate and her are going to be reading on her channel this week. I believe at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Am I right? Or 6 o'clock Eastern time? Put the information in the chat so that we have it. But yes, you are running in that fire energy right now and just charging forward with all the plans, things that you've got on your plate, along with your weekly readings that you read in advance for, so they're timely when they come out. You get the embodiment of swords. This is you standing in that King of Swords energy, telling the truth, keeping it honest, keeping the strength, and supporting of the community. This is that nurturing card of that King of Swords, that truth, the strength, and that power. Right in the center of the readings, we get here more wands. Their spirit of wands, that messenger of, we don't sit around. You're always spreading this message. We need to take action to move forward in life. And this is reminding everybody in the room that this is an energy and a message that you give quite often is, yes, we don't sit still waiting for everything to come to us. We need to take action and participate in life as we move forward. And then you get the Three of Wands. Boy, you got a lot of fire around your water today, because and that's funny I say that, because the Three of Wands is, you're looking out to sea, waiting for all that new energy to come towards you. But this time you're on the boat seeking it. So you're out to sea, seeking that energy from abroad, taking action, seeking it out. And of course, last time I read for you, I got the same card, which I think holds so much truth. You are no longer juggling with everything in your life. You have found your center, your balance, and this is where you're at this point in time. You're very connected with spirit, with Lord, with helping everybody in the community, sharing all your gifts with our community and everything. This brings you balance in life and your connection with living in the now and connected with the spiritual world ahead. Blessings to you. I absolutely adore you. Much gratitude for working with you. I'm lucky to have such a wonderful friend in you. And I can't wait to start doing programs with you, because I just absolutely love and adore working with you. And us working in our energy together and sharing our gifts with the community. So, we're working out the details, but we will eventually get on together and get that other program going. It'll be fun. And we're going to switch back and forth when we do it from my channel to her channel, as we're sharing that love around the community. And I'm seeing if anybody else has snuck in since we started. Dean was supposed to jump in. I didn't see it. Oh, everybody's here. Oh, she can't Thursday because she has chiropractic. We'll still work something out. Maybe we'll do it next week, towards the beginning of the week. We'll pick a date. We'll eventually find a permanent date to do it. Like I said, we're working on the details. We're busy women with a lot on our plates right now. I know we both have a lot going on in life right now, in the community as well as at home and in our personal lives. So, okay, Dean never came in, but I need to call him back to see if he's okay. He didn't sound like he was crying, but he just got home dropping his daughter off at college, which is going to be a new experience for him. He's now an empty nester. I don't miss those days. That was so hard for me. Maybe moms take it a little differently than dad, but dads. But Dean is so in touch with his feminine side. He is the mom of all moms. He's been a fabulous single father and has really done a great job. I know Katie. I talked to Katie. She's just an adorable little redhead, bright as a button, and all my love and blessings to her. Put prayers out for her success in college. She's she beats herself up. She's Dean's List student, all that. She pushes and pushes, and she has such big hopes and dreams. So put a lot of love and light and support out to her for her education. She's just a wonderful girl. And Dean has been such a fabulous father. Put that out there. Open up his business a little bit to the world. No, he's done a great job with her. And she's as cute as a button, too. But anyways, I want everybody to have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful next week. And we will be back on Saturday. I don't know if Brenda and I watch for any pop-ups. If Brenda and I decide to come on at some point in time this week, surprise y'all. We will. Yeah, I'm still packing, so but I can take a break anytime. This is a wonderful way to make an excuse not to pack. It energizes me. But everybody have a great week. Enjoy the summer. Be safe out there. I envy you if you're having the summer storms. I love the summer storms. I'm a weirdo. And give me a good thunderstorm anytime with the lightning and the whole light show. Love it. But anyways, everybody have a great week coming on. I will see you next Saturday. And if I get wild and crazy or just forget what day of the week it is, because I do that because time does not seem to sit in the right place for me, I may just jump on and do a show just to take a break. So watch for pop-ups of any unexpected shows coming up, and we will see you for sure next Saturday. Blessings to all.